Hello everyone, I'm Francesca. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be making 2 summer Buddha bowl ideas, recipes. I am so excited to share this with you guys. I love Buddha bowls. It's like the only food I eat. I eat one like probably every day because you can just keep throwing in different vegetables, protein, starches, and just make completely different meals every single time. I think you guys are really going to love these. I tried to give them like a summery twist, like summery flavors, you know? So with all that being said, let's hop right into these recipes. All right, we're starting this bowl off by making our fries. So I took 2 golden potatoes, chopped them up into fry-sized pieces, wedges, and I drizzled some olive oil on there and put garlic salt, paprika, and parsley. I didn't measure any of this out, just drizzle some on, you'll be fine. And then I'm just going to toss them in the seasonings, make sure everything's coated nice and evenly. In a dish, I'm adding some cauliflower florets, and then I'm just going to look and like kind of cut off any big stems, or if there's any big pieces, cut them in half. And then we are going to coat this in barbecue sauce. I'm using one from Trader Joe's. Shocking, I know, I get everything from there. Just make sure your barbecue sauce is vegan friendly. I'll link some vegan friendly ones in the description box down below. And just toss the cauliflower in there. If you feel like you need more, add some more barbecue sauce. These are very easy recipes. You don't really need to take out a bunch of measuring cups and stuff. Just eyeball it. You can do it. I'm going to add my potato wedges and the barbecue cauliflower to a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. And I just made sure to spread everything out so it had room to cook and breathe and wasn't crowded on top of each other while it would be in the oven. And then I just took any leftover barbecue sauce I had in the dish and drizzled it on the cauliflower. So we're gonna bake this in the oven until everything is nice and crispy. Be sure to check on it and flip it halfway through. While that is baking, let's make some spicy mayo. So all you have to do is take vegan mayo. I'm using the one from Sir Kensington's, their vegan Fabinaise. It is fabulous. And then I'm just going to add in some Frank's Red Hot sauce and just mix that up. And you can add more hot sauce if you want it spicier. I like my things on the spicier side, so I add a little more in. All right, so now I'm going to cut up one zucchini. I want it to be fancy, so I cut it on a diagonal. You don't have to do this. You can just cut it however. You can spiralize it. You don't have to put zucchini in there. I'm just trying to give you ideas to make this like a nice summery bowl. So I'm going to put this on my stove in a pan. I've been loving cooking with sesame oil lately, and I'm just going to take one piece of zucchini and kind of run it around the pan to get the oil spread out evenly. And now we're going to put all the pieces of zucchini in there. Keeping it very simple with seasonings, we're just doing salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Again, not measuring. You can just eyeball this and, add a little less if you're hesitant, and then you can always add more in. And you're just going to cook this for a few minutes on the stove until everything kind of gets a little browned up, a little crispy. You can cook it really for as long as you like. It's totally up to your preference. So now we're ready to assemble our bowl. I took a nice big handful of baby spinach, put that in the bottom. Then I'm putting our beautiful golden fries on there. Then we're going to put the cauliflower, and I like putting raw spinach at the bottom of my bowls because all the hot ingredients will wilt the spinach down. So you don't have to like cook it and it still kind of has some bite, and I don't know. I just like it and it's one less thing to cook. Then we're going to put our zucchini on there, and the final thing, I just had some frozen corn that I let thaw. So I'm putting that on there too. I feel like corn is such a summer food. And I just topped it with some green onion, and that is it. This bowl is done. Pair it with your spicy mayo and you have a delicious, nutritious bowl. So for this bowl, we started off by using extra firm tofu. Just use firm or extra firm for this, and I cut it into little cubes. I'm going to coat it with cornstarch. I love doing this. If you've never tried this before, it'll totally change how you make your tofu. I highly suggest you do it. Just sprinkle some on, kind of toss it around. The tofu will absorb a little bit, then you can sprinkle a little more on, and give it a second to kind of dry out, and you'll see like all the cornstarch is really coated on there nicely. And like I said, it just forms like this really nice crust. So again, I am cooking in sesame oil. I have kind of been obsessed with sesame oil lately, and then I'm taking my silicone brush and just kind of spreading it around the bottom of the pan, just again to make sure everything gets cooked nice and evenly. So then I'm just going to put my tofu in here. It's on a medium heat, so be careful. You really shouldn't use your fingers like I'm doing, but whatever. So then after a few minutes, it's gonna turn golden brown, and I'm flipping it over, and I got smart and used tongs this time. So just flip them over and you'll see how nice and golden and crispy they are. Totally different than if you had not coated them in the cornstarch. And you could cook this for as long as you want to, as crispy as you like. And they just get nice and bubbly and delicious. So then I made a very simple sauce. I'll put it in the description box down below, but it's so easy to make. And you just kind of let that cook for a few minutes, and the sugars and the maple syrup are going to caramelize and make this really delicious. This is one of my favorite ways to make tofu. Really quick, really easy, and good. Up next, I'm going to cut some Brussels sprouts up. I've been loving cutting them into kind of like a shaved Brussels sprout. So I just kind of cut it up into a few little pieces and then cut it in half. And then you get these little pieces of Brussels sprout, which cook way quicker than if you cut them in half. And you kind of like waste less of the Brussels sprout, I feel like. I don't know. So I've just been liking doing this. It's a lot easier and quicker in my opinion. So these are them. And as you can see, they're just kind of like all tiny little pieces, kind of like a shredded Brussels sprout. And then we're going to bring this over to the stove, and I always like to cook my Brussels sprouts first in water, kind of like steam them, get them nice and soft, and then I add oil in later, so I'm not cooking it in a bunch of oil. So let those steam for like 5 to 10 minutes. You'll see they break down, the color changes a little bit, and they're really getting softer here. And then you guessed it, we are going back in with sesame oil. As you can tell, I'm on a big sesame oil kick. And then some salt, garlic powder, and red pepper flakes, because again, I like food spicy. Feel free to use whatever spices you like. Ground ginger goes great on here too. And you're just gonna let this cook until all the water is absorbed and the Brussels sprouts are a little crispy and delicious. So I used brown rice, microwavable brown rice from Trader Joe's. Makes my life so much easier. And then I'm going to add in the cooked Brussels sprouts. Next up, we're adding in our tofu, and guys, this tofu was so good, you have to make it. If you don't eat soy, you can put this on cauliflower, or you could put it on broccoli or zucchini, whatever you want. And then I just took some cucumber scrolls, threw those in there. I think they look extra pretty and fancy. Chopped it with more green onion and sesame seeds, and this bowl is pretty much done. This is the kind of bowl that I love to eat. This is one of my favorite meals, so this is a good one. Alright guys, those were our 2 summery Buddha bowl recipe ideas. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really, really helps the channel out, helps us to grow, helps us to spread vegan recipes and content. I will put the recipes in the description box down below because I am too lazy to do a blog post for them today since they're relatively simple. So yeah, be sure to give this a like, because if it gets a lot of likes, then I know you guys want more bowl videos. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.